Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le Vice-président, good afternoon et bon après-midi à tous. Je tiens tout d'abord à remercier les sénateurs, les sénatrices de m'avoir permis de prendre la parole aujourd'hui sur la question du réforme du Sénat. Je crois savoir que, comme vous venez de dire, Monsieur le Président, Monsieur le Vice-président, c'est la première fois qu'un Premier ministre en fonction s'adresse à un comité sénatorial. Cela souligne l'importance que j'accorde à la réforme du Sénat. Comme nous avons peu de temps et que notre sujet est important, je m'en tiendrai à l'essentiel. As everyone in this room knows, it has become a rite of passage for aspiring leaders and prime ministers to promise Senate reform on their way to the top. The promises are usually made in Western Canada, and the statements of intent are usually warmly received by party activists, editorial writers, and ordinary people. But once elected, Senate reform quickly falls to the bottom of the government's agenda. Nothing ever gets done, and the status quo goes on. Honorables sénateurs et sénatrices, il faut que ça cesse, car le Sénat se doit de changer. Et nous serons les auteurs de ce changement. Le gouvernement ne veut pas de rapport, nous voulons de l'action. Honorable Senators, years of delay on Senate reform must come to an end, and it will. For the Senate must change, and we intend to make it happen. The government is not looking for another report. We are seeking action. Action that responds to the commitments we made to Canadians during the recent federal election. Comme vous le savez tous, nous avons promis au cours de la dernière campagne électorale que si nous étions élus, nous procéderons à la réforme du Sénat. Et je suis venu aussi aujourd'hui pour réitérer personnellement l'engagement que j'ai pris de faire réformer cette institution. Reform that will make the Senate more democratic, more accountable, and more in keeping with the expectations of Canadians who, as we all know, are not at all satisfied with the status quo. Honourable Senators, I believe in Senate reform because I believe in the ideas behind an upper house. Canada needs an upper house that provides sober and effective second thought. Canada needs an upper house that gives voice to our diverse regions. Canada needs an upper house with democratic legitimacy. And I hope we can work together to move towards that enhanced democratic legitimacy. A modest but positive reform would be the passage of Bill S-4 by the Senate. S-4 does not promise full-scale Senate reform, nor will it deliver such, but it does represent positive change. By limiting senators to 8-year terms, en limitant à 8 ans le mandat des sénateurs et sénatrices, un mandat d'une durée à peu près équivalente à celui de 2 gouvernements majoritaires consécutifs. Il s'agit, je crois, d'une proposition juste et qui ne heurte pas le gros bon sens de la population canadienne. The fact that senators can be, and sometimes occasionally are, appointed for terms of 15, 30, or even 45 years is just not today acceptable to the broad mainstream of the Canadian community. And this practice has few parallels in Western democracies in the 21st century. Therefore, we should act. The government believes that S-4 is achievable through the actions of Parliament itself. And senators will know that the 1984 Mulgat-Cosgrove report on Senate reform not only made a similar recommendation regarding term length, but confirmed that such a change was achievable without using the general constitutional amending formula. As you know, the Mulgat-Cosgrove report called for a slightly longer term, 9 years rather than the 8 years proposed in Bill S-4. I believe Baudouin-Dobie report may have called for a 6-year term. The government can be flexible on accepting amendment to the details of Bill S-4 to adopt a 6-year term or an 8-year term or a 9-year term. The key point is this. We are seeking limited fixed terms of office, not decades based on antiquated criteria of age. I've carefully reviewed your deliberations on the bill. Some senators have said it goes too far. Others have said it does not go far enough. But we can all agree on one thing. It does go somewhere reasonable and somewhere achievable. And I would ask senators, when you resume sitting at the end of the month, to bring your deliberations on S-4 to a successful conclusion, because the Senate must change. And Canadians will be watching to see whether the current Senate will make itself part of the process of change. Comme je l'ai déjà dit, Le projet de loi S4 est une réforme modeste. Il faut faire plus, et le gouvernement s'est engagé à aller de l'avant. As yet another step in fulfilling our commitment to make the Senate more effective and more democratic, the government, hopefully this fall, will introduce a bill in the House to create a process to choose elected senators. This bill will further demonstrate how seriously the government takes the issue of serious Senate reform. Now, in conclusion, I would like to read a quote from a book I reviewed recently. Let me quote it. The quote is the following: probably on no other public question in Canada has there been such unanimity of opinion as on that of the necessity for Senate reform. Some of you will know the author is Robert McKay. The book is titled The Unreformed Senate of Canada, and the quote, my friends, is from 1926. Honourable Senators, this institution, the Senate of Canada, must change. Honorables sénateurs et sénatrices, l'institution qu'est le Sénat du Canada se doit de changer pour vrai. Et j'espère que vous vous joindrez à nous, au gouvernement et à la population canadienne, en vous associant de façon constructive à ce changement. Passage of S4 would be a modest move forward. After that, we will continue to move forward with further proposals as part of our plan to give Canadians the accountable democratic institution they desire and deserve. Thank you, merci beaucoup. Et évidemment, je suis ici pour jusqu'à 15 heures, Monsieur le Président, pour répondre à vos questions.
It gives me great pleasure to be here today with Michael Fortier, Minister of Public Works, Rob Nicholson, Government House Leader, Pierre Poilievre, Parliamentary Secretary for the Treasury Board, Minister of Justice Vic Toews, and of course the President of the Treasury Board, John Baird, to announce that our government is moving ahead with the first of the commitments contained in the throne speech, namely making the federal government more accountable. Today we tabled in Parliament the new Federal Accountability Act, a bill which contains a large number of measures aimed at cleaning up the federal government. Once implemented, this act will put an end to the influence of big money in federal political parties, stop former ministers, ministerial staffers, and senior public officials from using their insider connections to profit from public service, offer ironclad protection to whistleblowers, give the Auditor General the power to follow the money trail as it relates to federal grants and contributions, clean up government appointments, contracts, polling, and advertising, extend the scope of the Access to Information Act, and establish an independent parliamentary budget office. Simply put, these and other measures will change the way business is done in Ottawa forever, and they will replace the culture of entitlement that took root under the previous government with a culture of accountability. This is the promise we made to Canadians, and today we are delivering on that commitment. And this is just the beginning. For in the months ahead, our government is going to work hard to deliver broad-based tax relief, starting by cutting the GST, crack down on crime, crack down on gun, gang, and drug crime, help all Canadian families with young children by introducing a new choice in child care allowance, and reduce wait times for medically necessary treatments by working with the provinces to develop a patient wait times guarantee. These are the priorities of our government because they are the priorities of ordinary, hard-working Canadians and their families.